I'm just a member. Yeah, Natalie was the one that's position last year, but you got me.
Not every other month. It's weird. We're live right now. Thank you, sir. There will be.
Let's pray. Father God in heaven, we thank you for another day of life you've given us. We thank you for all the blessings you give us each and every day. We ask you to be with us today. Give us the wisdom to make the correct decisions that we need to make for this county. Father, we ask you to bless this county, bless this court, this country, that we can all get together, be peaceful as one country. That's what we used to. Thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross and forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
We'll rise to the pledge this week.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Allegiance to one flag.
Business is October 4th. Clerk, please call the roll.
I'm starting the meeting. Barber,
Present.
Squire Mike Moody,
Here.
Squire Beaverton,
Here.
Judge Riley,
Here.
Squire Travis,
Here.
Gary Moody,
Here.
all present.
All right, we've done a little switcheroo on it for clerk, for county clerk was unable to be here for clerk's meeting. We, thought Molly was going to be clerking, but she is covered us some personal updates that Molly has resigned and taken over position. Thought I had someone on the clerk that found out last night that she was unable to this morning, so we're ready to fill in a minute for us. So I'm going to ask everybody, please, we do this anyway, make sure that the mic is close to you and speak up so that, because whoever prepares the minutes, which I assume Lynn will be preparing the minutes based on the video, and we want to make sure the audio is clear. So first item of business is approval of the minutes of the Paraport meeting.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from last meeting with any corrections necessary.
We've got a motion,
Second.
and we've got a second. Any corrections?
Judge, I see on page 16, there was no second on the motion for the $10,000 that we gave to the chamber. I know that it was made, just wasn't annotated in the minutes.
Jim, did you second that motion? I know Jerry made the motion.
Can't remember what
It
that
is
is.
made.
Okay. Tim seconded.
I think I did.
And that needs to be reflected in the minutes, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure that is added to the minutes. Any other corrections?
Judge, I would like to make a comment. Back in the last pages of the minutes, I know it looks like the financial part of it was really sized down. It's not legible on the pages. I know I'm probably trying to save more paper. I think it's so small that it sort of defeats the purpose of having them in the minutes. It might be better.
Well, those are
long
public
enough.
records anyway, but
Right.
duly noted to make sure that that those are full size.
Or at least that size.
I'm not sure that those pages actually even need to be in the minutes. It was a financial report that was presented to us, and it is a matter of public record anyway, all our financial reports.
Yes, the bills and invoices too.
Bills and invoices.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're right there, they're really small.
Okay. I'll see, do you know if you can correct that?
I'll see if I have access to it in Molly's computer.
Okay, we'll look into that. Any other corrections? If not, call the roll, please.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverton,
Accused?
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Gary Moody,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay. Next item is communications from county judge executive. Just want to give you a brief update on personnel. Again, Molly had submitted her resignation. I think she had planned on working today, but had a mishap with her son, as many of you already know. Pretty nasty broken leg. So she's obviously not here, but we have put on Lindsay Whitworth, and everybody please welcome her. She will be taking Molly's place, and I'm glad we were able to get her on board, actually as of Thursday or Friday, was it? So today is, since we essentially closed the office, I asked her to come over just to observe what this report was. Also, the road department, Tyler Stidham, is no longer with the road department. Recycle center, Tyler Wilkerson is no longer at the recycle center. And the other personnel issue would be public works. Adrian Downs had an accident several weeks ago and is still not back, and we're not sure if he will be back. We don't know. So I just wanted to, we are advertising for 3 positions over at Public Works and 1 at the Recycle Center. But we've got to get some folks in here. And I'll be talking to the road foreman about maybe getting more personnel in the road department. So with that, the other thing that I want to bring up under communications, and I didn't want this to go into the toward the end of the meeting, and I wanted to go on and get it up front. We have a guest with us, and if you'll come on forward, introduce yourself. She is with the, actually a member of the Kentucky Women in Agriculture. It's an association, right, nonprofit, and they asked that we honor the Women in Agriculture Day. So I've got a proclamation. She'd like to just say a few words about women in agriculture.
Good morning, Court. Thank you for having me today. My name is Fran McCall. I'm a proud member of the Kentucky Women in Ag Association. I work for Kentucky Farm Bureau, the state office, and just to give you a brief synopsis of Kentucky and agriculture and the importance of women. We have over 40,000 women in Kentucky that are involved in operations in the Commonwealth, in farming, and even more than that are actively involved in agribusiness and other organizations like Farm Bureau, Farm Credit, the Extension Service, many involvements in agriculture that women play, and also support farmers as well. We in the Kentucky Women of Ag are proud to have our annual meeting coming up later this month in Lexington. We have over 200 members in our association and are growing, and we're just proud to support agriculture and women in agriculture, to empower our women in education, involvement, and action, and also get them involved in the local, state, level, and politics as well, along with the other Commonwealth participants. We serve as a liaison between our members and agriculture, and we prepare our members for leadership roles in other organizations. But on behalf of the Kentucky Women in Ag, we thank you, Judge, for making this proclamation here in Spencer County a really strong agriculture community, and thank you for having me today.
Well, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you all pointing this out to me. So I've always have been impressed with our FFA chapter and the involvement of women in our FFA, and it's terrific. So very important, very important. So we appreciate you being here. I appreciate you all bringing this to my attention. So
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to communications from citizens. Do we have anybody here who'd like to address the board? Larry?
Councilor Ken Jones, Mike Moody, Brett Beaverson, you're all exempt from my comments. This last meeting, this court decided to give a bunch of women $10,000. And like a bunch of 16-year-olds, sexed up, all taken in by some boobs and butt, you handed it to them. What did you get for it? What did you get for it? Did you get a contract? Did you get an assurance of what was going to come back to the taxpayers for that $10,000? You know what? If I give them $5,000, they're going to put my name on the plaque, and they tell me that's worth $1,000. This is the Economic Development Authority file that I've collected. Judge Riley seems to be so distraught that that was destroyed back in 2011. Does the AutoZone ring a bell to anybody? Annette King, Mike Moody, Jerry Davis, Davis Lee Downs, and I cleaning up with Baden destroyed economic development because the county was spending $30,000 a year. The city was spending $30,000 a year, all to give Annette King a paycheck. And we got nothing out of it. Jerry, you talked about advertising. I started my business 36 years ago with business cards, and I've never done any advertising. That's it. I've got more work than I know what to do with. I think it all goes back to your quality, your pricing, and who you are in your business, not about the Chamber of Commerce. If the Chamber wants to exist based on the cost of their membership fees, then fine. But why are taxpayers giving them money? Brewer, you seconded it. Tell me, what are you expecting out of it? Travis, you got so excited you almost wet your pants about wanting to give them ARPA money. Oh, come back. And John, you're the ultimate mother clopper. You cash in every week and don't do a damn thing. And you couldn't even bring the bowling alley to this county. Remember? You tried. You're the judge. Where's your economic development? Where have you been for the last 8 years? $10,000. Why didn't you just go out there to that street and just give $100 bills to people as they're driving by? You would have got more out of it than what the Chamber's going to give you.
All right. We live in a wonderful country. People are entitled to their opinion and can voice their opinion. But thank goodness we're all different.
Good to be 16 again, Dave.
Okay, so anybody else wish to address the court?
I do, Judge.
My name's Scott Travis, live over in West Spencer County, and Mr. Moody here is my magistrate. Happy for him to be my magistrate. I want to talk about what's coming out of Washington. You all watch the news like I do. There's going to be different rules and things. If they get their way, they may not get their way. I hope they don't get their way with everything they want to do. But they're going to argue about what you got to do for diversity. We need to work on diversity. We've always been working on diversity. We need to do things better. But I think if you look over, I'm going to agree with one of my U.S. senators. If you look at where we were and where we are, we've made a lot of progress. And I personally believe, and I think all of you all do, you know, if we were all colorblind, that'd be just fine. You know, there's only one race. There's the human race. You know, we were all created by God in His own image, and that's who we are. That's who every person that's ever been born on this earth is. We're an image of God. And again, one race, the human race. But the reason I bring that up is what's potentially coming out of Washington. It's really going to take some leadership. And I know that you guys are going to be up to the task. And ladies, you're going to be up to the task. But anyway, I just want to bring that up. And I'm proud of you all. Everyone does have an opinion, and they're entitled to their opinion. The First Amendment protects that. But at the same time, we can be positive and we can look forward instead of maybe not being positive. So, but I've been attending your meetings and I've been enjoying it. I've been wanting to learn. For the next several years, I'd like to be part of the leadership team here. May not be, but who knows. But just wanting to help as we move forward. Last meeting, I know you discussed the dead animal program, and there were some different ideas. I give it a lot of thought, Jerry. And Judge, I appreciate your work you did getting what other counties are doing, but there was talk about a 10-head limit. That sounded fair to me because we have only so many resources to utilize. You know, and maybe after that, we can do the next 10 head at half, possibly. You know, the goal of this is not to penalize or reward someone because we have this program. The intent of this program is to properly dispose of dead animals. So, you know, if you do cut someone off, what's going to happen to their dead animals? Now, again, at the same time, we've got to utilize our funds properly. But we could possibly do half for the next 10 head and then cut them off. And that'll keep another 10 head out of the sinkhole. But anyway, another thing I've been watching, the Colton machine, I don't know what these are called. I know they're quite expensive. And, just my thought on it is that if this little outfit right here will protect this whole room, then maybe we need a few of those and we don't need ones in the ductwork. It seems like there's issues with those in the ductwork. But anyway, I would rather, I know that is quite expensive, $100,000+ to get all that. I mean, I would rather buy another ambulance than buy a bunch. We can buy a few of those, but if we buy a bunch of those, that would take away from maybe a potential ambulance. And the reason I bring that up, my brother had a heart attack about 10 years ago. They come got him in the ambulance. They took him to the hospital, and he's still alive today. Had not been a good ambulance and a good driver and good Lord looking out for him, he'd probably be dead because he had the Widowmaker, vein that got blocked. But anyway, and one of us laying on the side of the road or laying on the kitchen floor at our house, we want a good ambulance to come get us. So anyway, those are just a couple thoughts. And again, I thank you all. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your integrity and what you do. And I appreciate it. And thank you.
All right, anybody else wish to address the court? Seeing none, I want to also make note it's on the agenda at 10 minutes to 10. We're going to take a recess and go over and participate in the memorial dedication for Deputy Frank Doolan. So, just so everybody will know that 10 minutes to 10 we will be heading over there. So, next up is communications, reports from members and other offices and committees. Planning and zoning, there are none. Chris, EMS.
Just want to bring y'all up to date on our interview process. We've had the 2 full-time employees resign. I've been conducting interviews the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've narrowed it down to 2 people we're going to bring to court for full-time employment and 1 for part-time. Hopefully next meeting, I'm trying to get the background checks done and the drug test done before next meeting to make those recommendations. So,
also, I'm not sure if it's appropriate to talk about it now or the potential ruling coming down about the vaccine.
yes,
and how that may impact us.
Our administrators conference call with the Board of EMS last Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it was, they informed us that they're going to enforce President Biden's vaccine mandate for healthcare workers through CMS, which is Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. K-Beams told us that they expect the new regulation for CMS to come out as early as middle of this month, and they expect in that regulation will be that 100% of our employees must be vaccinated if we are to receive Medicare or Medicaid funds. So if that comes out, we're going to have to mandate that at least the EMS employees get a vaccine, or we're just not going to receive Medicare or Medicaid funds. And that's a very large portion of our funds that we bring in. So
It's very disappointing to see the direction that our nation is taking, and this is another good example of that.
my hope is that it gets...
Why you're seeing hospitals and some of these medical facilities mandating vaccines, because we cannot afford to lose our Medicare reimbursements and our Medicaid reimbursements in Spencer County's EMS because one person chooses for whatever reason, and I'm sure they've got valid reasons. I'm not going to question it.
Now, K-Beams wasn't sure if they were going to allow some sort of like medical exemption on that or religious exemption. I talked to James Allen for quite a long time about it. He's going to run it up some people within the state, but he's afraid that it's over the state's head. CMS is a federal organization, so and him and I were kind of on the same page about it. I don't agree with forcing somebody to put something in their body they don't want, so we're just going to be
I've
have a decision to
communicated
make.
with both James Allen and Senator Higdon, and yes, it is something that's coming down from the federal level. doesn't stop even us at a local level from voicing our opinion for the leadership in Washington. And that's what I really would like to see. All of you, encourage you to speak up and talk to your congressmen and Senate offices. I think on the Senate side, we're probably in pretty good shape, even on the House side, with the exception of the 3rd District.
But right now, my biggest hope
legislature
is,
and our governor should be.
right now, my biggest hope is it gets held up in court, because we do have one employee that will affect. So, just hoping it gets held up in court and finally gets shot down.
We've got a lot of medical professionals that are, willing to take that stand and to end their medical careers because of this.
That was going to be my question. Do you foresee a number, I mean, do you foresee that this possibly affecting our?
We have one employee, and speaking with that employee, they are not going to get a vaccine. He would rather find another job than to get a vaccine. So, that's where we stand with it there. So, we already see a staffing shortage in hospitals and doctors and EMS across the state. I mean, we've had a hiring notice out for a month, and we've interviewed several people, but most of those people have no experience or are brand new people, or we're interviewing people that live 80 and 100 miles away. So we're at a point where services across the state are having the same staffing issues, and we're just going to have a bigger staffing issue with this mandate for people that don't want to receive a vaccine.
Do you know what percentage of your crew has been vaccinated?
All but one.
Part-timers.
I think most of them are part-timers, pretty
I'm
positive.
just curious, because they don't want us to get in trouble because we're using a part-timer that hadn't been.
Yeah, it's going to come down. I mean, the way it looks according to K-Beams is,
Is this mandate only for full-time?
no, it's for any service that collects Medicare or Medicaid funds. According to K-Beams and the CMS reg, it's going to come out that 100% of employees healthcare employees have to be vaccinated to continue to receive Medicare and Medicaid
It
funds.
doesn't mean they lose their job, it just means they lose.
It's a significant amount of our revenue.
It's the largest portion of our revenue.
I don't believe we as fiscal court are willing to give that revenue up.
Is it just for runs that individual would make?
No, it's civil service. It's going to affect hospitals, doctors' offices, nursing homes, anybody that provides medical treatment, anybody that receives Medicare and Medicaid funds.
That's exactly right. These are all professionals that, before there was even a vaccine, were out there on the front lines.
They were heroes last year, and now they're threatened for
We
jobs.
wouldn't even have a vaccine right now.
Like I said, they were heroes last year, threatened for jobs this year. So.
And so then what? There's no vaccine, everybody's still being employed.
Next up is the safety committee reports. Barbara?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Solid waste committee?
Yes, the road department, I don't know if we talked about this last meeting or not, but they delivered the 67 of those big concrete blocks, and Karen and I put the base layer down last week, and we still got, I think, 14 to go. We're going to do that tomorrow or Wednesday, according to the rain. Place those 14 on the base layer, and that'll be done. And then we're waiting on IMI to make some more blocks. We've got 91, I think, paid for that IMI is making. They can only make 6 a day, I think, they said. And so we're going to try to get that ball rolling, working to the second layer of those blocks on those bins over there. And that's it.
All right. Veterans Committee report.
The AMVETS will be hosting a spaghetti dinner on the 5th of November at the Fish and Game Club. veterans will eat free. It'd be a $10 charge for everyone else. We'll have spaghetti, salad, garlic bread. So please try to get the word out. Trying to get as many veterans there as we possibly can.
What was the date on that?
The 5th of November, it's Friday. And then on the 6th of November, the tourism will be having their annual turkey trot. We are going to be part of that with our Veterans Day Memorial over at the Chamber of Commerce. That will probably kick off about 10:30, 11 o'clock, our memorial portion of it.
I think that was canceled last year because of COVID, but the year before, it worked out real
Right.
well with the finals. Anything else from the Veterans Committee?
Not at this time.
Okay, and that's everybody, there's how many veterans in our county? 1,500?
About 1,400.
1,400. So if you know any veterans in your district, please encourage them to get a hold of the AMVETS. And I'd like to see more participation in that. I think it's usually going to take beneficial at all.
Absolutely.
Equipment Committee report, Ms. Wormer.
I've got a bid on cheaper ambulance. And I think it's 110,500 or something like that. It's not four-wheel drive. I don't feel like we need a four-wheel drive. The extra expense. It's about $45,000 cheaper than F-450. It's got the same engine, transmission, and stuff. I just don't see the need of buying a higher price ambulance. But what I do, I spent a lot of time on this, and I visit more ambulance places, and quite a bit more. One thing that's very interesting to me is that the people that's on private 4OK or what do you call it, ambulance people, fire people, do I get a whole lot better than the state has its duty. And it's a lot cheaper for everybody involved. And it surprised me. This is talking to the foot soldiers that are out there. And I've done a lot of studying on this. I think we need to get somebody or a couple people to come in and do a survey about EMS and see what we need to do. And when I first come in office, I talked about this, and it was to everybody didn't listen. But, and this is nothing to do with the leadership or anything in EMS. But we need to take, and I've got people that at the very fastest is 25 minutes away from ambulance getting there. Brett's got the same situation. Getting ambulance away. And we need, with this government money, nobody knows how to spend it. But we need to find out if we can get some of that money and maybe build another central station somewhere, like Paraport ambulance. Most of our rooms, one of them, and then from my experience of being a policeman, your runs are going to come between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock. And if nothing else, get another crew that works that 8-hour shift, or have a 12-hour shift, 12 to 12. But we need not worry about being cows, we need to worry about saving lives. And response time is horrible. And again, it's because of the size of the county, the population, and where the runs are at. I understand all that. But the people that live out away from the city deserve a whole lot better service. And now is a chance to do that. And I I don't know of a consulting firm, I'm sure there's some out there, but we need a consulting firm, not out of Jefferson County, where the money's at. And even though the fire departments there are starting to take over and buy their own ambulances because they was not getting the service out of the county. And the county response time went way down when they started using ambulances years ago because they never started out with enough ambulances to start with. And I think it needs to be a priority of this court, whether or not I'd rather pay $110 or so for an ambulance than $155. Our community, this climate change has affected all this snow. We do not get the snow we used to get. That's not saying we're not going to get blasted. But we do not need the four-wheel drive. We've got two sitting down there. And two is plenty. So, I mean, it's up to the court what y'all want to do on the ambulance. But I want to make you aware, now they're talking about if we take and to buy another ambulance, not to replace one, then it's a possibility that we'll go through the money that we're getting from the government companies. All right, now keep in mind, pretty much anytime you buy another ambulance and you keep the money you got, then the cost of the ambulance is going to be about $30,000 more if they're putting on those diaper,
Cot systems.
yeah. And, so I don't want to blindside you, and this ambulance here does not have the decals on it. They're solid white that they price. And he recommended if we buy it, to have it done locally, because you can get it done cheaper locally than what they will do it for. And this company is opening up a branch in Shelby County on the 22nd of October this month to service ambulance and stuff. So that's a little bit of advantage. But it's entirely up, I'm just giving you all the information, y'all do what you want to do. But we need to get that consulting firm and plan out what to do, instead of just sitting and doing nothing.
Is this ambulance capable of having the car cots installed in it?
Oh, yeah, it has all the hardware. It's wired for it, it's got the heavy floor.
You can put them in there.
Yeah.
Judge, can I address the court?
Yes, go ahead. We will have to bid that, and, but before you start, I haven't actually made the call yet, but as you all know, I've sent information out about doing a special meeting for, to have Kip to come in and talk about ARPA and our, I appreciate you all contracting with Kip to manage that ARPA money and do our reporting and so forth. So my plan is to do that at 5:30 on, I think is it the 18th is our next meeting. So it'd be the same evening as our regular fiscal court meeting, but we'll only talk about that particular issue, and that'll give us plenty of time to talk about it. But you know, it's issues like this. What is the ARPA money? Can the ARPA money be used to purchase an ambulance? There's some questions about that. Depends on who you talk to. I know Shelby County's testing the waters, but that's something we need to talk to KIPTA about, and they've access to a lot of information across the state and country. The idea of the possibility of another location, that's what the fire department has done, and they've done a good job of getting more locations out there, keeps our insurance rates low. That's, put an ambulance at, I don't know if it makes sense. That's why I've been a very strong proponent of GIS mapping. That's the type of data that you can map to show where is it most reasonable to put another EMS facility or fire department or what have you. If we could map that data instead of guessing. Chris, would it make sense to put an ambulance out in the Natchez Creek area?
I'll start with that. And Magistrate Moody and myself have disagreed on a lot of things in here, but him and I are in complete agreement, and we haven't even talked about this. I've talked to you rather recently that we're on the cusp of needing a third truck. I don't think we need a 24-hour truck at this point, but we do need what I call a peak hour truck. We can staff that truck if we were to hire, if we staff that truck 12 hours a day, we'd have to hire 4 full-time employees and work them on a 12-hour day. It's an A-B shift rotation is what 12-hour agencies use. It's just not I'm in complete agreement on that. We are getting to the point to where we're calling mutual aid more and more often. Not at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and not 10 o'clock at night till the next morning. It's peak hour times, usually from around lunchtime till about bedtime. So I think we could cover most of those extra runs with a 12-hour truck. I personally believe that if we add a third truck, it doesn't need to be in Taylorsville. That would put all of our resources coming out of the one station. I think the station we have now services, for the most part, Taylorsville, Elk Creek, the lake area very well, even out towards Waterford, but not as far out as the far side of Waterford. I think it's worth looking into where we could put that's lack of better words, a substation that would allow quicker access to some of those further out parts. And there's not going to be a perfect answer. The county's grown a lot in the last 20 years. The densest part of our population is in the north end, the Elk Creek area. But it's definitely time to look at how to better provide a quicker response to some areas, because from our station over on Spears Drive to say Channing Lane Boat Dock, we're 25 minutes as far as you can drive to get back there, and even up to areas in Mount Eden. We go up on 44 at the Spencer and the Anderson line, it's the same thing. So there's not going to be a perfect location that services everywhere. I'd love to have an ambulance station where every firehouse is, and that would be the answer. But our run volume doesn't justify that number of employees and ambulances on the street. Perfect world, that would be the answer. But and if we add one substation, it might be smart to look at adding 2 and having 1 ambulance in Taylorsville, 1 ambulance here, and 1 ambulance there. I don't know the right answer to that. I would think that maybe somewhere up toward Little Mount could service a big portion of that side of the county, get to Mount Eden and parts of Little Mount faster. And I would think that somewhere, honestly, like on Lily Pike, Cotton Lane area would be faster to get to the rest of the side of the county than where we're at. Because you got good access from that area to the Waterford and the Wakefield area. So I don't know. I think we need a study to see where we need to put stuff. But I'm in 100% agreement with it's probably time to at least look at a peak hour truck. I know it increases our staffing budget and the number of people we employ, but it will definitely cut down on the number of times we're waiting for mutual aid to get here, because we might have a long response time to some areas, but if we're out of trucks, Shelby County and Mount Washington and Anchorage have a longer response time to the same areas. So,
I think this is a perfect opportunity to look at merging the EMS with the fire department. and use the buildings that the fire department has out throughout the county as a source to house one of those units of yours.
I will say, Nathan and I have talked about the possibility of that. I don't know, and I can't speak for the fire district. I don't know that he is, that in his idea, or in his head, that merging the two is the perfect situation. He has told me that those stations, most of them are designed to where they could add on to. Because once you get outside of the Elk Creek Firehouse and the one here in town and then the one out in Waterford, they're just metal garages. So, but he said they're designed to where, and it might be a good fit to, if we could work out an agreement where EMS could house it there and build like a little living quarter, just some dorm rooms and a bathroom and a small kitchen or whatever.
With a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, with an 8 or 12-hour shift, you wouldn't even really.
You wouldn't even need dorm rooms, just like a little day room type area where they sit when they're not on call. So yeah.
But even as far as the finances on that, you know, merge the two and I don't know what the.
That would be a discussion best left for probably a committee of this court and the fire district to even see if there's any interest. I can't answer that for them. Like I said, Nathan and I have had small discussions about it.
Would you be in favor of that?
It might be too premature to even try to answer
I would have to
that,
see
because
details.
when you talk about,
I'm not,
are you
and
talking about a merger between the two? Because we, you know, does Fiscal Court,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
or just interlocal or interagency agreements to allow our EMS
A
to.
merger of the two.
Yeah.
I can't answer that standing right here. I think everybody knows I'm an active member of the fire department. I'm in the command staff of the fire department. So I think highly of our fire department. But I also got to think about the employees that work for me. And I got to think about, we're talking about merging a volunteer organization with an all-paid organization. How does that mesh? I worked for the fire department in Jefferson County years ago when we first started getting paid employees. So we had the few of us that were paid with volunteer organizations. It was a very bumpy start. So it would all be in the details, and even if the fire district is even at all interested in that. Probably premature here to talk about that. Might be worth putting a committee together to look at, but they definitely have the station infrastructure. They don't have the manpower or the staffing, but we have that at EMS. So I don't know. It might be worth looking at. So.
Do you anticipate that would be something that could be accomplished in the next 15 months?
Anything's possible. I mean, Kent Taylor Fire Department and Beecher Fire Department just merged in 30 days, so.
We're going to be subject in that last 6 months to the 60-40 issue with our budget.
Yeah,
So
they've got it down to a
anticipate
science,
lot.
and they've got down to a science in Jefferson County. They're merging every week, but I don't know about out here.
Another thing is really touched on this thing. We need to dig in on this retirement thing, because this is a very highly cost thing.
The retirement system, and I'll speak, is the draw for most people. What's happened in retirement is there are multiple tiers now. You got guys like myself, which is tier 1. I can retire, like Jim retired with at the fire department, full benefits at 20 years. But the problem we're at now is they're at like tier 3 or 4, and these guys are in a 401k, and there's no advantage for new guys to come into hazardous duty retirement over any other retirement other than once they work 27 years, their insurance price is a little better than non-hazardous. For guys like myself, and for most of my staff, which are tier 2, it is still a very good retirement system. They're never going to get rich off of it, but it's a good retirement system. The tier 3, which they're in now, is just a 401k. So,
Are you saying that that eventually the hazardous duty issue will eventually?
no, they're still calling it hazardous duty retirement, and I'm not sure, Doug, are we paying less for tier 3 guys than tier 4, than tier 1 and 2 guys?
We pay the same for.
So,
Okay.
It's just the amount of years that you put into the service now, they've increased it from.
and they've stopped
22 to
the,
25 to 27.
they've stopped the double dipping, you can't go back and draw a second pension and all that, but yeah, so, for guys like myself and the tier 2 guys, it's still a really good benefit to offer. And I don't know that we can not offer it since we are hazardous. So, I don't know how that works.
It's gonna take lawyers to work it out.
And they've been fighting it for
But
years.
the guys that's on it, we owe it to them, if they wanna stay in, and until they retire. I mean, I'm not for taking anything away from it, but I've talked to people that's on it, and they said they wish that they were gonna.
Yeah, it's, like I said, for guys like myself,
It surprised me.
yeah, for anybody that got in the late 90s, early 2000s, or before that, it's a great pension system. I can retire when I'm young, have insurance for my family and my kids the rest of my life. If I die, my wife will get my pension after that. So it's a good system. And so, like, I'd be dumb to walk away from it. But a guy that just got into it and they tell me he's got like 27 years and he can go somewhere else and move that money to a 401k if you make it's what it is for me.
And it's cheaper on the farming or the EMT to have the private thing than it is for them to have the state thing. And another thing, the state thing, you got to remember, you've got politicians handling your money.
They've just rearranged a bunch of the retirement system and to where they've split them up a little bit, and I'm not an expert on that.
That's no different than what they did to us in the military. I mean, you know, I had a 20-year retirement at 50%. When I got out, they changed it to where at 20 years, you only had 35%, and for every year after that you stayed in, you got an additional 1.5%.
Yes, so they've split the state retirement board and the county retirements, and they've got some different boards which make, like the hazardous duty retirement was the best funded of all, and we gotta go. I'll get to the ambulance thing real fast. I do strongly believe that we need 4-wheel drive ambulances. We're off the road quite a bit, not just for snow. We do a lot of, we're off on farms, picking up people from farm accidents, lost people that have been off the road, people fall out of tree stands. A lot of places we go, we got to cross creeks to get up people's driveways. So I'm pretty adamant about 4-wheel drive. We've been making this effort to move our entire fleet to that. The ambulance that he's got a spec on looks like a good ambulance. It's a little small, the box wise. But other than that, it would be a great ambulance for if we were running a service in the city or in town all the time. But I'm pretty adamant that with 4-wheel drive, that I think that's the way to go.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna come to any resolution. That's why I say, 15 months is gonna go by pretty darn quick, because unfortunately the wheels of government do turn slowly, so, unless, you all want me to appoint you to a committee to merge or do whatever.
I'll volunteer to sit on that committee.
What is the committee, I tell you what, why don't you come back at our next meeting with a proposal to form a committee with the scope of work of the committee, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound reasonable? I don't want to just.
What do you want us to do on this committee?
Well, that's what you're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell the court and the people what you wanna do with the committee, and,
Be okay if Jerry and I got together to.
Oh, yeah.
On that,
That's
come
no
back to
problem
the
at all.
next meeting.
Just not a quorum of the court.
In the conversation, and then kind of what Chris has said, I think the fire department don't want to be bothered with it. Did you feel that way, Chris?
That's the feeling I get from my talks with. If y'all form a committee, I'd like to ask to be included on that.
You need to do it.
But I don't feel like that there's interest, and when we're not on record, I'll talk to you. I've got some private conversations I've had, so, yeah.
Okay, it is about, 10 minutes to 10, so we're going to go into recess. And everybody please join us at the dedication of the Frank Doolan Memorial. And then we will return here and resume our regular session of fiscal court when that concludes. I expect that to be probably maybe 15 to 20 after 10. So we are now in recess.
You don't need some more ground.
Good.
We gotta get
That's
this
totally
survey
okay.
tomorrow, that's fine. You need some more
I'm used to
ground.
getting, I used to get staff.
I was gonna tell them too, y'all need some more ground and water.
I think it's a
firehouse. I'll give you
We
some.
started, so
And I own the ground around.
and once they
Of
get
course,
them
I
out,
think,
they're
I love
gonna
that
have
ambulance in Waterford.
and see if
And
they're
mom and dad just be 2 miles
Yeah.
away from the ambulance.
That would help my people out on Barstown Road.
She'll just.
Yeah.
It'd cut the travel time in half.
Of course, little Union, or help them out road. Get Chris McGee on it all the way around the firehouse there.
I know what you're going to say.
That might be a better place.
Yeah.
Our district is, it's tough, we're gonna have to study. That's pretty much.
Yeah,
We need to get.
I got my.
You need to get the run, you need to go down and
From
put the
the-
run sheets and see where the majority of the runs are taking
Right.
place, what time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at the age of the population and
Don't talk about that.
put them on the map. Hey, we're all getting older. That's a gift every day. Thank you.
you're gonna get all this good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks.
Little boys, remember, waiting. And they feel well.
Yes.
Yeah, we figured there'd be plenty of used motor homes on the market.
Yeah, that's just it. But if you were gonna sell this right now, and this last year was the time to sell.
How long have you had yours?
It'll be 2 years. Yeah, it's 2 years.
How you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Sorry to make you wait.
That's okay. I was Brian was supposed to come this morning, and he just messaged me about 5 minutes before the death. I had some early come up, I can't come, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Yeah, I talked to him, you know, he said that he didn't have anything.
Yeah, sure, when I used to have
Budget,
one.
you know,
Yeah.
towards it, so
well, he
that's
had,
all we really need.
he said he hadn't killed him.
That's something
One
they
thing.
call track.
Oh, I don't, yeah, I mean,
Like we might as well say we've been beaten by a baseball bat.
you're like a business.
Like one day
that's
they
been
push my
beat
help,
down.
Right, like we rebounded this past season.
one day they catch me the rope on.
And nowhere near where we needed it.
No, everybody.
And I feel like I told these people every time I said, I'm not the raise my, registration fees is that.
When we got located many years ago, that's when I got it. You can break into my house and I step over my dog, but you can't hear.
Uniforms, baseballs or practice, I mean, you name it. It's like,
I've seen some
you
huge
don't
dumps
have a
and
choice
some
to do.
RVs. I'm like, how do you do it? I gotta
Well,
have
it's
some, I'm not fooling with the dog.
Talk. See if we'll speed
And,
ready.
it's just amazing, these giant dogs coming out some of these RVs.
Yeah.
Anything for room. I had these boxes.
You don't spend well on the car,
Always involved in it. Started off and
Oh, it's a little warmer in here than it was. It's smoky. Well, turn that dehumidifier off to some noise, you turn it back on.
Then you turn the air on. Look. Or down, or we're supposed to.
I can be very quick. Actually, I've already sent it to you also. So, I had a handout
Barely.
for that last
You
Monday.
notice I walked up there by you, they got away, they don't want to fly
But
around
the
me.
charter had on there not to give people. So I just sent it to you guys.
All right, looks like everybody's back. We're gonna go ahead and resume our regular meeting with Fiscal Court. And I've got one report from committees, and that would be Telecommunications Committee, Star Beavers.
Okay, I was just telling John, I sent to you all a handout I was gonna have this last meeting that I was not out. And then I noticed that Charter had written on their information, not for distribution. So rather than make it public, I just sent it to you all. It's just some data, it's about area, or not area, but regional broadband initiatives as opposed to local. And that's pretty much it. I think we have solar flares happening.
Yeah. Boy, if we could do something, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yep. We just talked while we were out there. There's nothing wrong with the cable that I put on it. I still had to plug it into that extension. And what we need is a heavily shielded 20-foot cable. It just seems like there's a radio, there's some kind of transmissions happening somewhere. It's so intermittent. That's what it seems like. So
Okay.
anyway, we're home.
All right. Gonna change the agenda a little bit. We've got James Allen Tipton, Representative Tipton, here with us. I've invited him to give us a few words, updates, and talk a little bit about the email that I sent you on forcing EMTs and paramedics to be vaccinated and all that. I know that's not done on the local level or the state level really, but powerful statements that the legislature could issue up to the folks in Washington would really be a help. I'm sure that would include our governor's office, but yeah, that's absurd. But these people have been out there treating on the front line for all these months with no vaccine, and now if you're not vaccinated, you can't have your job, so that's crazy. But anyway,
Well, with Judge Riley, members of the court, thank you for giving me a few minutes. One thing I learned several years ago in serving this position is when you go to an event, always be prepared because you never know when you're going to be invited to speak. So, but it is good to see you this morning. I did, Judge, you sent me that email last week. I did talk to EMS Director Lent, and we discussed that a little bit. It's my understanding that has to go through an administrative regulation process. And I have forwarded that information off to the co-chairs of our administrative regulations committee in the General Assembly. These issues are going on across the nation in different states, school systems, localities. I know that there have been some initial court filings rendered. So far, the regional federal courts that I have seen have chosen to enforce those mandates. And I suspect that ultimately this will be a decision that comes down to the United States Supreme Court. Whether or not we'll make a resolution during the 2022 session, I can't say right now, but I am making people aware of that and expressing your concerns and the concerns of our first responders, EMS workers. And I think that the real issue there is they're tying that to anyone who has receives Medicaid or Medicare reimbursement. So that is a very broad net that would apply to you. We recently came out of a special session in early September. I know there's a lot of discussion about that. There were actually 5 pieces of legislation
There was a joint resolution that a lot of people were confused about, I think, initially. But really what that resolution did is it voided all previous executive orders during the term state of emergency, except for those expressly included back in that resolution. And those were things that the General Assembly felt like were things that actually could be of a benefit to people. And that state of emergency was extended till January 15th. There were 4 other bills, and there was the session only lasted 3 days by using the process that's allowed under House and Senate rules, and also I believe it's Section 46 of the Kentucky Constitution. So instead of having to be there for 5 days, we were only there for 3 days. So there was a substitution process. House Bill 1, Senate Bill 1 dealt with the education issue. It voided the statewide mask mandate and left that decision up to local individual school districts. It also included several tools that local superintendents have asked if they said they needed to help to keep students in school safely. House Bill 2, Senate Bill 2 dealt with health care. There were 3 main proportions of that. It was directing the Cabinet for Health and Family Services to buy more COVID testing. Obviously, we need to have the availability of those test supplies as we move forward. The second part of it, and forgive me, I butcher this word, the monoclonal antibodies infusions to direct to have one in at least every ad district in the state. Shortly after the special session, the federal government came down and put a limitation on the supply of those. But I know the governor's administration in the last few days has put out information directing people where they can go to get those infusions. They've had very high success rates of helping people who test positive very early with COVID. And the other part of that is directing the local health departments to assist their local school districts with the Test to Stay program. House Bill 3, Senate Bill 3, real briefly, dealt with, it was the appropriation bill. And we had, to get my math right, $69.2 million. This was federal ARPA money that had previously been allocated in the 2021 session. We appropriated $575 million of those funds to pay down the loan with the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. Obviously what that does is that helps local businesses by getting it paid off sooner, because their unemployment insurance rates are based on the balance in that. And actually the balance of that fund has been paid off, and it currently has like a $350 million in assets in that account. So we took $69.2 million of that money, reappropriated it for the purposes that I just mentioned, for purchasing COVID tests, to shore up the antibody infusion centers across the state, and to help pay for the Test to Stay program. The issue not dealing with COVID was House Bill 5, Senate Bill 5. We changed economic incentive programs in Kentucky. And essentially what we did, a lot of times our incentives to lure businesses into the state are what I'll call backloaded. And what I mean by that is that they meet certain performance standards, certain metrics, they will get tax breaks in the future. This was front-loading those incentives. It would provide a forgivable loan. We appropriate $410 million for that program, and part of that, I believe it's $350 million up front for the possibility of a loan. It requires a business to invest $2 billion or more in investment in the state. And part of that money was going to actually build a campus, a Glendale, to be part of the Elizabethtown Community College system. And the purpose of that campus will be to train employees with the specific skill sets that employees need to work at the, as we now know, the Ford electric battery plant, partnered with the South Korean company that's coming. And I want to talk a little bit about that. We're about 50 to 60 miles from there. And obviously, I think we'll have a similar, that plant, I believe, will have a similar impact to Toyota in Georgetown, in this community. We've had people that have traveled to Toyota, and I believe this will give people in this community an opportunity to travel to that area. But I think more importantly, what we saw with Toyota was there were a lot of subsidiary companies. that were necessary to support that Toyota plant. And I foresee and I envision and I hope there will be a lot of subsidiary plants and businesses that will come up in the areas of Kentucky or a community like Spencer County, who may not be able to attract that mega site, but maybe it'll be able to attract some good solid businesses for our state. So I just want to put that out there, and I would encourage you as a fiscal court to be thinking about that and be making plans for possibly what you providing the tools you will need possibly to attract a business like that. There are a lot of things going on in the state right now. We're less than 100 days to 2022 general session. That's going to be our two-year budget session. We ended the last fiscal year with a budget surplus of $1.9 billion. When I first came into office, our budget surplus was zero. So we had made some good sound financial decisions that's allowed to put us in that position. As I mentioned, we allocated $410. That's where that $410 million came from. So we still got $1.5 billion. We need about, our goal is, that we have set, is to have a 30-day supply of operating money for the state on hand. And that requires about $1.2 billion in that budget reserve trust fund, because we don't know what might happen in the future. Based on early predictions, we could have as much as another $1 billion surplus in the current fiscal year 22 session. So there's going to be a lot of people out there asking for money, requesting allocations, and we want to be very prudent. And this is not something we start up new programs that come with recurring expenses. I think there are some key one-time investments. Brent mentioned broadband. Of the $2.1 billion that Kentucky received for the ARPA funds we invested, allocated $250 million of that into a broadband development fund. It's a 50-50 partnership with private companies. So I know they're in the process of allocating requests for those programs, so hopefully sometime next year. So there's going to be a lot of things on the table, and please come with me if any questions you have. I will tell you, I was recently in a meeting with the Transportation Cabinet officials. We had a very good discussion about Highway 55, 155. Senator Higdon and myself have had that in the budget road plan the last couple of sessions. We'll continue that. And I was informed that they are in the process of doing a request for bid for a planning study on that project. So there is some movement on that project. I talked to Judge Summers in Bullitt County Saturday night, and his big concern is Highway 44, obviously the Bullitt County section, but I'm also concerned, and I do represent part of Bullitt County in the Mount Washington area, but I'm also concerned about road improvements coming to Taylorsville, that west-east corridor. So we're continuing to work on that. So a few things I'll bring you up to speed on. Be happy to entertain any questions if you have time. If not, you know how to get hold of me.
First thing, census, I think Spencer County kind of dodged a bullet, and that I expected that we would go over 20,000. We did not. Of course, we don't have the details yet to begin the redistricting of our magistrate district, but I assume that the legislative districts are the same. That's been postponed, so you've got to race this.
All House members are up for election in an even number of years.
But you're running in the current district, it won't change.
There is discussion
of
asking the governor to call a special session.
Okay.
And there is work being done on legislative districts and congressional districts right now.
Well, wouldn't that have to be done by the filing deadline?
That's the reason we're asking for considering a special session. Okay. Because and the other thing, that if the governor does not call us in a special session, it's my opinion that we will address the issue the first week of January. Okay. And we would have to extend the filing deadline. Now, the problem with that is there may be people who have already filed to run in the legislative district. There are going to be a lot of districts changing this time because we're losing population in the east and the west, and those districts have to get larger. As they come into central Kentucky and up into northern Kentucky, we're going to see a lot of people have to change parts of their district. And that would provide a lot of chaos if someone has filed to run. I think you recall, you filed for a race several years ago, and due to a litigation, that was thrown out, and those district lines changed. And people might have to withdraw, they might be in a different district number even. So I know those talks are underway to do that, so that is a possibility. And I understand on the local level, it wouldn't directly affect you all immediately on the local level, because after the state does redistricting, that information has to come back to the county so you can do your reapportionment.
Okay. We also, since we came in under 20,000, we still retain our supplement for the county clerk.
Sure, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that statute, yes.
But the issue with the battery plant down in Hardin County, that's going to have a major impact, as you said.
This whole general region of Kentucky, it will have a major impact.
Now, that doesn't mean that Spencer County, has to give up their rural country atmosphere, but it's going to give plenty of opportunities for us to grow economically, particularly if we get some, look forward to some highway improvements, particularly west over Bullitt County, and Highway 55 up to Shelbyville would be something. Also, the other thing that I'm, I guess, not necessarily concerned about, but I just want to keep my ear to the ground, and you keep your ear to the ground on anything that might move improving our courthouse facility. It's been a long time in that process, and I think we're to the top of the list, or whatever list that is, and we need to prepare for that. That's something that won't happen in this term. We can move forward that takes that up probably. So, just keep us.
But those recommendations for courthouse improvements will be part of the biennial budget.
Yeah, that actually comes from AOC's budget to you all.
Yeah, that's through the judiciary budget.
When does that come to you as a legislature? Is that prior to the session?
We'll probably have some initial information. See, what happens is all the budget recommendations from each agency are sent to the governor's office, and the governor submits and prepares an executive branch budget to submit to the legislature, usually around the third week of January.
Okay, that'll be after the session starts.
Yeah, and then we may have access to some of those proposals beforehand. Okay. And then in the House, we will start the process, and I'll serve on Appropriations and Revenue Committee. We're divided into 8 subcommittees. I chair one on post-secondary education. Representative Nemus chairs the judiciary subcommittee, so I'm sure that subcommittee will be looking at those recommendations that come forward from administrative office and courts.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Representative Kip?
Yes, Brett.
You just mentioned it, we dodged the bullet. Obviously, we're going to be over 20,000 in 2030. And I believe the legislature will use that time to develop a graduated scale so that counties like Spencer don't take such a large hit when we cross that 20,000 threshold.
Well, I understand. I know the judge mentioned one specific program dealing with the clerk's office. And we just have to review that. And so I'm sure there are probably other thresholds out there.
There are
for a lot of different items.
One of them is our occupational tax ordinance. And, Stephanie, I don't know if you talked to her about that, but she's cautioned us about doing anything of amending our ordinance, because we could grandfather. When we have 30,000, that changes some issues with occupational tax and how that works. But,
we'll certainly keep that in mind. It may not happen. Probably not going to happen in the 22 session. 22 session is pretty full already. No. But I understand what you're saying down the road. We can be looking at that and start discussing that and making those plans.
Was there any discussion about that threshold of 20,000 going to 30,000? Seemed like I read that somewhere in publication.
I actually, county clerk here, Lynn Hessbrook, had talked to me about that. And I did introduce a piece of legislation a couple of years ago, late in session, to get it out there for discussion. The 2021 session wasn't time. This wasn't going to be the time to get anything done with that. But that is something we could look at, and I think it's a good idea to look at all those fresh oats. Because what we've got is we've got a situation in Kentucky where the Golden Triangle, the communities are getting larger. Unfortunately, the communities in the east and the west, the east has lost coal. They need jobs. West Kentucky's looking for jobs, and a lot of times, and I foresee a lot of people moving into the Elizabethtown and surrounding areas in the next 4 or 5 years, and that's just going to exacerbate that trend.
One comment on Highway 155. They're going to do a 3-2 type highway.
Yes.
They did that from I think it's going to the end of Jefferson County, but all the way to 1169 one-way road is where they stop money-wise. And Matt Bullock from the State Highway Department says, asked him about extending it all the way into Taylorsville.
Sure.
And he said that needs to come up to you guys to allocate the money, because there wasn't any money allocated from 1169 to Taylorsville to do the same thing.
As you can imagine, money's been pretty tight.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get in what we could feasibly get in. And I'll explain that whole corridor to the Gene Snyder Freeway. You all are aware that Gene Snyder is being expanded to 6 lanes. That's going to increase capacity and hopefully reduce congestion. The next phase of that is the intersection there by the store and the park. There is a plan to improve that intersection. And eventually, I believe, the plan is to widen the road from the Gene Snyder all the way to the curve. It will be a 5-lane to a 4-lane, gradually going down to a 3-lane. So those turning lanes are very important on a serious section of highway like that. So, and then it will probably, and those plans are a little further along than the 155 that I mentioned.
Any other questions for
One other thing, I know you and myself and Senator Higdon have talked about the renaming of the bridges.
Sure.
Have you heard anything else from him about what's going to happen?
Last session, typically every session legislators can file resolutions to do things like that, name bridges, roads, and they put the General Assembly put a moratorium on that. I know the interim transportation committee was going to look at that. I have not heard any definite plans, but I feel like there'll probably be maybe some expanded guidelines on that. I'll just have to get some more information about that. I'll talk to Senator Higdon about that because he's chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee.
Thank you.
So he'll have that information.
Obviously, we've got, I'm very pleased with the representation that Spencer County has up in the legislature, and appreciate the job you do, and Senator Higdon. You've got, you don't need to wait for me to invite you. You've got an open invitation anytime.
I understand.
You're anywhere near, all you gotta do is walk in the door.
Appreciate that.
And you've got an opportunity to talk to us. And, I'll tell you, it's not a single time I ever called you or emailed you or anything that you haven't just, practically immediately replied or responded in some way, and I appreciate that.
And Judge, I will tell you, I did leave a message for Ms. Rice this morning over at North Central Health. I've been perplexed about the vaccination rate that's been reported for Spencer County.
Oh, she knows it's wrong.
And I have asked her if she could give me some guidance on how that is determined and how that is based. I'm going to try and look into that a little bit further.
If you look at the press releases from the district that I send out to everybody on General Friday, it shows Spencer County is 120th in vaccination rates, which is absolutely, she knows what's going on. That, I guess those numbers come from CDC or
They
something.
say it comes from CDC.
I keep saying, I'd like to see a note, a big bold note on there that number
Death rate is what matters.
is
Sure. I understand.
inaccurate.
I
But,
understand.
we've had the governor call us out and everything else.
I understand.
And it has to do with where these things are reported.
And I'll give you an example. I was vaccinated last March by the Franklin County Health Department. I was in Frankfort during the session. That's where I had the opportunity to get the vaccine. I don't know if I'm reported as a Spencer County resident or not.
Well, I got my vaccination right here in town, and it was not at the health department, but nowhere on that form did I put Spencer County. Now, I happen to have a 40071 zip code, which puts me in Spencer County. But if it's 400, what is it, 23 in Fisherville?
Sure.
And you don't have a county down, that looks like a.
And we have a lot of residents in Bloomfield
Same
and
thing in
Washington and other surrounding areas. But I just want to ask those questions and look into that, because I know you've asked me about that in the
Well,
past.
Melania knows that those numbers are wrong, I just wish it would be noted anytime, every time that comes out, says we're 120.
And I'll just, if I could just take a moment and speak a little bit about COVID. None of us imagined 20 months ago we would be where we are now. And I think it's important to remember, COVID is our enemy. COVID is what we need to battle, not each other. And too many times it's turned very political. The maskers versus the non-maskers, the vaccination. And I just encourage everybody to it's going to be with us for a while. It may be with us forever to a certain extent. Get your information. It's the role of government to give information out so people can make informed decisions that's best for them. If you got a question about the vaccine, go talk to your doctor. I think there may be certain people that, I've been told by doctors, certain people have certain medical histories that maybe it's not advisable for them to get the vaccine. And just be informed and make the best information, the best decision for you and your family.
All right, well, we certainly have a challenge.
Appreciate the opportunity, the invitation to visit for a minute. I hate to rush off, but I've got one of those Zoom meetings coming up. All right, y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to get back to it now. The old business, COVID leave policy, if we made any progress, get Squire Brewer and Squire Moody on that.
We've taken into consideration everybody's comments and concerns. We've redone the protocol policy. I think that it's the best that for the time. I think it will take care of itself. And I make a motion that we accept the COVID protocol leave policy that you have in your books.
Second.
Okay. We've got a motion and we've got a second to adopt the policy as presented in your packets. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah, we have a couple of places where it says guarantee, it's supposed to be quarantine.
Actually, it's in your packet instead of, it's corrected in the packet, not in the minutes.
No,
Yeah, trust me.
I'm looking at it right here, so.
I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, okay, what was emailed out, that's incorrect. Yeah,
I'll double check.
Yes.
okay. So I believe those corrections have been made, but we'll make sure that those.
Yeah, no guarantees.
No, it's all quarantine. Yes. It has been corrected.
Aside from that, is there any other questions, comments, or concerns? If not, I hate to do this to you, but call the roll.
Barber,
Yes.
Squire Martin,
Yes.
Squire Bean,
No.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jeremy,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, got some back.
All right, next up is ballpark lighting phase 2, Squire Brewer. We've got Raina Allen here.
After talking to everybody that you want to talk to, the Parks Department, the Ball Association, Brian Bears, we have determined that probably would be best to move forward just to get bids, to find out what the cost is going to be, and then we can come back and decide whether we want to do that. Talking to the Baseball Association, because of the last 2 years of COVID, their funds are down just like everybody else's. Brian Bears' foundation is definitely not in a position to give any money, so if it goes forward, it'll probably be on the backs of fiscal court. And once again, I think that's a big investment in the community and with our kids. Last ballpark lighting phase 1 that took place, fiscal court wasn't responsible for hardly any of the money. except for the monthly bills that it costs to turn the lights on. Talked to Raina, I know that she's very adamant about keeping the lights off when there's no need to have them on. So I'll make a motion that we move forward with phase 2 bidding to get this done.
Okay, we've got a motion to proceed with putting the phase 2 lighting project out for bid.
Second.
Goodness. Solar flares.
Okay, any questions, comments, or concerns? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Motion passes. We'll get that out, and then we can talk about it also on the 18th with,
Yes.
Okay, next.
Raina, did you have anything else to add to that?
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, obviously COVID has really cremated us the last 2 seasons. We about didn't have a season last year, and we didn't really recover hardly at all this season. And we have still, like, as you guys know, and I talked to Tim, like, we don't just, buy all baseball stuff. Like, we went down there and baseball painted and redid bathrooms down there. We, during our layoff for COVID, we literally went down there and as Brian Census said, I think you painted anything that didn't move. And that's pretty much what we did. And we funded all that because we wanted to give back to the park. We want to make it look better. We want our kids to be down there. We want to be proud of it. So you're not just helping baseball when you are funding lights or whatever. Like, you're helping the community in our future. And that's where I want you to understand too, like, if we get more lights down there, we get tournaments. And I don't know if you guys are very familiar with these tournaments, but they make a lot of money for all the businesses that are here. And, there's lots of money to be made. So if I get a second field, I can host more tournaments because I got a second field. And tournaments depend on those lights because you have to turn them on. You just have to. In order to have so many teams, you have to have them play late. And it's the thing. So if you invest now, I do believe you will get your money back because you stole in Ashton McDonald's or Dairy Queen or any of those guys, like, they know when we're in season. Like, they know it. And they know when we have a tournament because they'll come to me. Their managers say, hey, you want to stay? You have this tournament, whatever. So I just hope you look at it like it's not just a money thing for lights. It's for the future of our kids. And I think your money will get back to you. Thank you.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get that out for bid, and I think we need that to make any determination, but we'll weigh our options once we get that back and talk to Kipta about with that, the countryside dead animal pickup, that's postponed until further notice. Got a note on that item. So next up, under new business, perfect timing, we've got Tracy.
Fennel.
I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, and you're going to talk about special needs playground. And I had first gotten a call from Tracy quite a few months ago, and some of the things that she was describing to me, I look at most things in terms of economic development. How is this going to improve could potentially improve our community in terms of creating jobs and private investment and that sort of thing. But when she talked to me about this special needs playground, and I did some research on it and looked at some pretty nice playgrounds around the country that have been built. And I, for several years, have been trying to look at Corps of Engineer property for the possibility of an agri-science center for the school system. That's an impossible task, which I don't shy away from an impossible task, but it occurred to me that the handicap or the hurdle in using that for a school facility is that the school system cannot use bond financing on land they do not own. So they would have to get a fee simple deed to property to build a potential agri-science center. So I kind of scrapped that idea and thought more in terms of this ARPA, potentially using ARPA money to, on leased ground up there by Edgewater, to do a sports complex that would include baseball fields, soccer fields, pickleball, I understand, is pretty darn popular. I was in, Cheryl and I recently took a little time off, went down to western Kentucky. Trigg County has a pretty sizable, and they're about the same population as we are, sports facility with all these fields and also an indoor facility. But this special needs playground could be a potential part of it if we support something like that. So I know that was long-winded. I tend to do
No, I
that sometimes.
appreciate
but
that. Thank you so much. Good morning, every one of you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. I'm kind of nervous. I've not done this before, but I'm learning. Before we get started, I wanted to offer my condolences on the loss of Deputy Doolan. My name is Tracy Tennell, as Judge has introduced me, and I'm a resident of Spencer County. My son and I, Aaron Walker, started a nonprofit in 2020 called Adonai Place. We kind of got halted by COVID, so we are back up and rolling. We actually had a fundraiser on Saturday, and in 3 hours we raised more money than I truly expected to do that. I feel that having the playground, hold on, let me go back to this, I'm so sorry. Our mission is to help individuals of all ages and all disabilities. The presentation is only one of the many things that we hope to accomplish with our goals as Adonai. And this will be a presentation that Tammy, the owner of Miracles of Kentucky and Tennessee, will be presenting to you today to show you ideas. I do believe that it will be a true asset as well as a strong statement of our county's progress and understanding of the need for this type of playground for everyone to enjoy and feel included. And again, I just thank you for this opportunity. I don't want to take up any more time. I want Tammy to be able to show you all the awesome ideas that they have and things that they've already finished. And some of them, I'm sure she will include our sports things.
All right, do you have a PowerPoint?
Yes. You have to plug my computer in. Do you have a?
Can you grab Julie to see if she can help with getting this set up? Hopefully we'll be able to get that up on the big screens. Oh, Brett. You're handy to have around, Brett.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
We got you in the meeting anyway.
There you go. Is it not wanting to work?
We don't know yet.
I promise one of these works is television.
You know that garage door's going up and down over there.
That would be my luck.
If you can't get that one to work, we'll try to do that.
Tracy, while they're working on that, do you know, do people travel to these playgrounds?
Yes, sir. Actually, through our Facebook page, which we have almost 460 followers now, and they are throughout the whole state. I actually had one of the followers that had gone on vacation and took pictures of what they were able to experience in another area. So I thought that was very monumental
So
for
done
what
right,
we wanted
it
to do.
done right, it would have a potential draw into our area.
Yes, yes, sir.
To-
Yes, because there are limitations for all of our individuals. And we have camping, we have the boating and all that, but it's also to include our individuals. It's not just for them. So Tammy will be able to explain and tell you who all we're wanting to include. But yes, she's doing that.
Thank you again for your time. Like I said, my name is Tammy Phillips. I've actually, the playground equipment on your two parks are very old Miracle Playground equipment. They are, with Brian years ago. But my name is Tammy Phillips. I'm the owner of Miracle Kentucky, Tennessee. I've been here 22 years, so I've been around for quite a while. But lately, we've been kind of designated as kind of a specialty for these type of playgrounds. But what makes these playgrounds unique is they're playgrounds for children of all abilities. Back in the day when I first started, unfortunately, you did, lack of a better word, oh, that's a handicapped playground. We did 3 ramps going from 1 foot to 2 foot to 3 foot. You take up, you turn around, you come back. The problem with those in those days and time is, okay, you have a special needs child, but you probably have a child that's not special needs. Who wants to play on that? Nobody. You know, even the special needs child did not want to play on that because all they really care about is to play with their friends. I have an autistic grandson. All he wants is to be, lack of a better word, normal, play with his friends, not be seen as an outcast. So those playgrounds were never used. There's still some of them throughout the state. Believe it or not, we're taking down a whole lot of them right now because nobody used them. I mean, yeah, that child goes up to a 3-foot ramp, turns around and rolls right back down with no play value, and their friends aren't there. So we've got away from that. We're still using ramps, but we're using ramps with other play things. Yes, the whole playground is not accessible like what they thought they used to need to be, because then that's no fun for the child without disabilities. And now you got so many grandparents raising children. My children are 10 years apart. So we got to think about that too. You've got to have something for the 2-, 3-year-old, but yet you got to keep the 12-year-old interested. You know, if you have a special needs child, yes, but you also have another child. You don't want to go to 2 different parks. The other thing a lot of people don't think about is we have so many veterans now, so many people in wheelchairs, older people. Your statistics, ballpark from 2020 census, you have practically 20,000 people. In Spencer County, you have 10.7% as of 2020 with a disability under the age of 65. So that's over, you're looking at over 2,000 people that's on the census with a disability. Most autistic children aren't even on that census. You have, 7% of your under the age of 5. So you have a large child population coming up for what you have here. You also have a veteran population here. So a lot of the veterans are coming back. They're in wheelchairs, but they're 35 years old. They have children. They've never been able to play with their children. These type of systems that I'm going to show you, they can play with their children. Even if they're in a wheelchair and they, no legs or whatever, they can go up on the ramps and for the first time ever play with their children. These playgrounds are being called destination playgrounds. And I'll show you some of them here in a minute. People look online to go visit for these playgrounds. We get calls all the time. Where's your closest playground here? Is there a website? And there is a website. People are using these. The hits on them are unreal of what they're doing. We're doing a large one in Elizabethtown at Funtopia. They had one of the old wood leathers units. You've probably all seen them. They look like forts. And it's been tore down and this new destination playground's coming in. But parents, grandparents, more grandparents are raising children now than ever before. That's why it's very important how these are designed. Let's face it, I'm a grandparent. I can't run like I used to after. So you want to make sure it's fenced in. There's so many things that we do on these playgrounds. But the playgrounds are for people from 2 to 90 now. It's not just, I'll take your kid there and let them wear themselves out and take them home. We're putting music in. The music is actually true note music. The elderly are we're putting them in nursing homes, in front of libraries, everywhere. So now this playground is a family playground. It's not just something like, when I was a kid, you had 3 stainless steel slides and a swing set, and you played for 5 minutes. We make these what people want to come to your community. The neat thing about your community is why we bring more people here. There's not one close. Jefferson County does not have a playground like this in the whole county. They have a special needs playground that they put in recently, it's Fern Creek, but it doesn't address all of these issues that you need as a county. You don't want a playground for 5% of your population. You want one for 75% of your population. If you're bringing in ballparks, in between tournaments, these kids need something to do, something to go to. Or so many of them will have 10, 12, 13-year-olds. What about the 3, 4-year-olds? Mom and dad wore out, they're tired. If they're not comfortable, they're not coming back. If we don't have shade for them, they're not coming back. They're not going to sit on a hot bench for more than 15 minutes. Especially parents are getting older, grandparents are raising children. So there's so much more now to a playground than what there used to be. Used to, like 20 years ago, the ones you guys have, that was the norm. That's what you put up, you threw it out there, it got used a little bit, and it served its purpose. Everybody did that, not just you all, that was just the norm. Well, as it's evolved, we're finding that these are destinations that people hunt for to go to. So many of our playgrounds now kind of have a theme, not a themed playground, but one piece. Doing one in Warren County now, Paradise Playground, we're putting this pirate in. So now every time the kids want to go to a playground, they're going to a playground with pirate days. It's just this little bitty pirate themed thing. Not the whole playground theme, just that piece. But it gives you a destination playground for that child to remember. And also people take pictures. And so now you're all over Facebook. The one at Funtopia, we're putting this huge tree entry, and we got codes on them where they can scan the code, and it tells all about your county. It tells where the restaurants are. It tells everything, so they can scan it right on the entryway itself. Plus, it's great for portraits. So now all of a sudden, your playground is all over Facebook. Let's face it. Somebody takes their kids out, what they want to do, they want to take a million pictures of it. So it also helps you out that way. But it's been proven time and time again, and I can give you names of cities, one right after another in Kentucky, that will tell you, oh my, we had no idea. Traffic got so bad, we had to add benches, we had to add more garbage cans, we added more shades. I mean, it's just Somerset. We did a big one there 3 years ago, and it was $300,000. They're putting $700,000 in. That's how much investment they felt like it brought to their town and how much they got going. Funtopia, the one in E-Town. Can't get it.
Yeah, it's not, it recognizes that it's there, but your computer won't connect to it.
You look like it tried to there for a second.
Well, I even went off, I went from this and went to the cordless one to see.
Maybe just be sent.
Yes. Do you have one that'll work on? I got it. Can we just put it on a jump drive and you got something that'll work?
I can bring my computer right here.
I've got a flash drive that is on, or we've got one you can transfer real quick and put on. Because I just like to show you at least Funtopia what E-Town's doing to give you an idea of what type of park I'm talking about for your area. Do you have one, or do I need to go to the car and get one? Do you have a flash drive we can do a real quick copy? Yeah. Okay.
Tammy, I suspect that most of the folks sitting on this table will do like I did. They're gonna get online and they're gonna do some Google searches and so hopefully you can get something running, but they're gonna see, I think, some of the same things that I've seen.
Has anybody been to Owensboro, the one on the waterfront? Okay, that's one, I did that one. Now that one is the largest in the world, okay? That one's the most expensive in the world, $3.5 million. But just to give you an idea of a destination type of playground, like I said, if you've been to the Bowling Green ones, that they've got some. Somerset, we just did one in Somerset. Getting ready to do another one. The one in Funtopia, in fact, it's delivered Thursday in E-Town, so that would be a good one to go, see what that one's like. But it doesn't have to be a $500,000 playground either. I'll be honest with you, because of the surfacing, because we have to use the rubber surfacing, about $250, honestly, is about where you can get where you get what you totally need. And a lot of people do them in phases, you know, do this phase this year, this phase the next year. That's also.
So someone said that a $300,000 playground, now they're coming back and
Yeah, almost 700,000.
better than double.
Yeah. The other one's so packed. They just have to, they said they're doing it
And
on
these
the
are
other
not
side.
just local, these are not just local people visiting, these are.
No, these are people coming. There's not one within probably 100 miles from there.
So that's what I say, that, you know, something like this fits perfectly, and I'm just one person, I got just one opinion, and I think there's a lot of people that would agree with me that, you know, we need to preserve our rural country atmosphere, but we do that, we can still grow economically, because we go after a sports type of investments or entertainment. You know, we should be a farm-to-table dining destination in this state. This is just one of them.
Everybody talks about wanting to keep this as a bed and breakfast community. I mean, something like this would fit very well within a bed and breakfast community.
Yeah. Do you have any information on what an average stay would be if somebody travels, say, 50 or 100 miles to go to one of these? Are they?
I'm sure they probably plan vacations around the destinations of these particular parks.
If I had my phone, I could check, because the person following us actually sent the pictures and how much fun that they had. But I don't have out of respect, I didn't even bring my phone in here, so.
Well, I think, again, we can talk to Danielle and Kipta about, you know, the ARPA money. It's something that, in the conversations I've had with Danielle already, it should qualify. Outdoor recreational type facilities should qualify for salaries or ARPA money. We can't buy an ambulance unless we're just added to a fleet.
Maybe do you know if they have actually used any of their ARPA money to purchase these, or?
I know E-Town used the grant. I don't know if it was a land and water grant or if it was part of public money. Several of our playgrounds have been public money that's come in on different, there's so many different
That
grants
money
out
just
there,
came
you know.
out this year, so, you know, when did we get ours in July? Brittany, our ARPA money, June,
April or May.
it was April or May, okay, yeah.
The other thing too that we're seeing a lot of people doing when it comes back to the baseball is what we call, a lot of people know them as the miracle fields, but they're the ones with the rubberized surface. A lot of they have tournaments with those. We're seeing a lot of those. We're working on, well, we just finished one, both of them were in Tennessee. Clarksville, Tennessee just did one, and then Gallatin, Tennessee just did one. Kentucky, I think, has one in Louisville, and that's it. And I don't know any more in the state. We are working with 2 cities currently looking at that. And I do know that they're funding that with that grant, or that's their plan to do. You talk about doing this within a sports field. That's another thing that does draw people in. But what surprises me is every time we put one of these in, we get calls, you know, afterwards going, we can't let them do it. You know, I know Elizabethtown, as soon as we broke Funtopia, within, I think it's 2 hours, they had 275 Facebook hits going, oh my gosh, it's about time. Oh, you know, within 2 hours of time from, you know, local people. So.
What's it under?
The one thing that she's talking about as well with the rubberized ball fields, it also gives the opportunity for our kids that are in wheelchairs or have disabilities actually participate in the sports with their friends. You know, right now, if you think about someone that is disabled or requires a wheelchair to get around instead of being able to walk or ambulate, they're not being able to give the opportunity to play the sports.
You want to, just because of time, you want to click the next one? That was just what I brought up earlier, what your statistics are. Keep going. Okay, keep on, I'll go through all that. I just want to show them some playground. So, yeah. This is one that's actually in Smyrna, Tennessee. This one is, you see, it's got the four-in-place rubber is the blue, and then we mixed up turf on this one. It does have the ramp system, but it also has, you know, a tower that's 12 foot tall with a 12-foot slide. Has the ADA swings. This is fun told. This is the one that they're doing. Pictures don't do it justice. This thing's 14,000 square feet. So, like I said, we have the special swings area here with the special needs seats combined with everything else. We have the ramp system actually goes up to 8 foot. So now a child in a wheelchair probably has not been up to 8 foot on anything or anywhere, but also that adult that wants to play with their child. And then the towers at the top, which is the big tube slides. I believe these are 12-foot towers coming down off of there. So you have plenty of spots, you have plenty of things for a child that doesn't have special needs, but then you also have plenty for a child that does have, and you also have plenty for that parent to be able to play with your child for the first time ever, because they can follow them all the way up through this maze. You're talking over 150 feet of ramp, not just 12 feet to go to somewhere. So that is fun to be able to race up to 8 foot tall. Most of these children in wheelchairs have never seen this ever. So this one here does ramp through. It also has a sensory, at the top right hand corner, a sensory area and what we call our little guys area, our 2 to 5 area. In that area is also a lot of sensory for children that are in a wheelchair that don't like heights. You got to keep that in mind. Autistic children. It has a lot of sensory. It has a lot of small things for crawlers and for all the family to play with. It is fenced in because most special needs children are runners, and a parent's not comfortable with that. So it's fenced in with a gate on one side, so a parent can actually sit on a bench and watch their child play and not have to chase after them and worry about it, or somebody snatch and grab. Unfortunately, we have to worry about that these days and times. So that's very important. It also has a track going around it. A lot of special needs children, including my grandson, just likes to follow a path. So I always put some type of path. Some of these kids, that's all they're going to go there and do, but they're playing with their friends. Their friends are beside them. There's a whole lot of parallel play where the special needs child can be playing here and their friends right next to them. They're touching each other. They're playing together. They're on a spinner, or they're on playing in the playhouse, or they're doing music. There's a lot of music up here. Yes.
I don't want to interrupt you. Do you have bathroom facilities, special needs bathroom facilities that goes with this?
Most of the cities do a bathhouse with that. There is a company right down the road that has those modular ones, Hunter and Shield. They're right outside of Louisville, and it's a kit. We used it at Brown Park in St. Matthews, and literally it's a building. You do the plumbing, they come literally set it on top, attach the plumbing, and you're done. And it meets all the special needs things. So there is a kit that, yes, that you can get. We don't supply that just because you go direct to the supplier and get that, so.
Has this facility in E-Town been built already?
No, the equipment is being delivered on Thursday, so that's hopefully shooting to be done by the end of November.
Let me ask you this, what about, two questions actually, what about the overall cost of something like that?
This one is right at $500,000, but it's got retainer walls, it's got fence, it's got a whole lot of stuff. It's
What
rather
about,
large.
how is that handled in terms of bidding, the procurement laws that we have to contend with? And was this Hardin County or was it the city of E-Town?
This is the city.
City, okay.
Of E-Town. This one, I believe they put this one out for bid. Most people don't. Most people file contract.
So do you have a master agreement with the state of Kentucky?
No, we're on Sourcewell and KBC.
Sourcewell, okay,
yes.
that's good enough.
So we probably, honestly, in the state of Kentucky, did 2 bids all year.
Yeah.
Because everything that we sell is on that contract, on Sourcewell or KBC, either one.
Okay.
This one, I do believe, I think they bid it, but they didn't really bid it. You know, they kind of just request for some proposals, get some ideals, and there was only 5 or 6 companies that actually submitted, and then they went through them all and that type of thing. A lot of companies, like I said, most of them go through contract, you know, but we're bid either way, whatever you're comfortable with. We still, like I said, on contracts, give even more than what the discounts require, because those contracts, these are near and dear to our heart because it's personal, so I think this one's got a 30% discount, and I think KPC's a really good one. So
Well, I
And
know
we're
Hardin
local
County
too.
and E-Town are really taking advantage of, this type of thing, and they've got that big sports complex, that's been extremely popular.
And they're updating it. We're also, in fact, our guys are there now looking at that. They're redoing some rubber. We're looking at doing some different stuff there that gives them some more
Is
accessibility.
it primarily just baseball fields, or is it more than?
Primary, yes. They had some small playgrounds in it, but they're finding that they need them updated and they need more for special needs children and that. And we're working on that right now to switch out some stuff there. They do have plans for next year for 2 more $250,000 or $300,000 playgrounds, because they said these just get overrun, that they're just, it's unreal what these bring to the town. And like I said, there's not one, Kentucky is honestly very, very far behind compared to Tennessee, second Tennessee, compared to a lot of other states on these type of playgrounds. It's just, the need's always been there, it's just money happens. So now there's COVID money and some other things coming about. But honestly, there has been more private money in the last 2 years given to these playgrounds. We have yet to have a playground not fully funded within a matter of 6 months privately. When the cities have gone out to that, we're doing one now at Falma, and it's, I think, almost 100% private money, and they raised $400,000 in 7 months. They had people coming out of the woodwork, families, child died, people they didn't even know. Once they got their plan and advertised it and put it out there, this money came in that they had no idea where that it was coming from. The other thing you can apply for, the state of Kentucky has a rubber grant from Corn Place Rubber. It comes out every year in January. They award it by May 15th, and you usually get your check by May 25th. So it's a very quick thing. It's a 75-25 match, which you do in the 25, and your 25 can be some in-kind. So a lot of times we work with you on that, where you all kind of help do the rock base to help offset that, your 25%. I know that you've not got one here, and that's kind of how they do it. If the county or whoever puts in for it never had one, then you pretty well go up to the top of the list. And if you're doing it for a special needs playground, we've got to have one tonight. So that's another thing that Elizabeth County got.
We're at about 11:15, and we've got some other business that we're going to need to attend to, and I don't want to cut you too short, but I want to cut you short. But you know, it's fascinating when Tracy called me about it. As you know, Tracy, I mean, I know what you were talking about, and I can do research like everybody else, and I was amazed.
Yes.
And encouraged her to
Follow through.
be patient.
Yes.
But you know, I would, you know, and I know that some of this is new to some of them around the table here, but you know, it's going to take the support of the folks sitting around this table, possibly the city commission, and you know, I think we should. It's something worthwhile to me. You know, I think to our county to look into this and to do something. You know, our Ray Jewell Park and Waterford Park. You know, and hopefully neither one of them flooded. We got 5 1/4 inches of rain at my house yesterday, so hopefully but they are subject to flooding. You can't have something like this in an area that's subject to flooding. So my suggestion would be to go back to state parks and the Corps of Engineers, and let's look at trying to regain a leasehold interest in what we gave up when the Edgewater sewer issue came up. We relinquished our leasehold interest in about 300 acres up there. So Edgewater, or it's called Cottages by the Lake or something now, the cottage owners deal directly with state parks. They don't come through the county anymore. But they don't lease from state parks the entire 300 acres that we gave up. So there's still land available up there. I think the Corps of Engineers in a lot of ways is easier to work with than the state. But that's something we ought to really take a serious look at. Is can we regain that leasehold interest in that land? Because that's always the problem. Where's the land, and what's the cost of the land to do it? If we can regain that interest and 150 acres or something up there, and plan a massive sports complex, I think it would behoove us to do that.
You know, another spot that we could probably look into is Spencer Christian Church has a private park that they built behind the church. to see if they were willing to go into a private government together. And there's a perfect spot out there to put one of these, plenty of room, big flat
You're
area.
speaking of the Elk Creek area?
Yeah. Yes, Spencer Christian Church.
I think yes, I think that would be a really good area because that would be closer to Gene Snyder and easier to get to from off of the
It
interstate.
would just be the legal matters, getting the legal issues worked out with the private, entity and the government entity to do this.
I
Right,
just kind
and-
of took it a step further with, to say, what about considering a special needs playground on a grand scale,
Mhm.
along with ball fields and,
Right.
it's like a whole sports complex.
Right, and when you're talking about the cabins that are at the lake, it would increase their traffic, and it would also change some of the clientele that maybe has not utilized them since they haven't had access for stuff like this.
Part of the issue economically with the lake is that for years, it's been a whole lot of people pull their boat out here and they get in the lake, and they might buy a tank of gas, but they fish, or they recreate in the lake, and off they go. They don't stay here. They don't spend their, a lot of their money and time here. And that's, it's called beds in heads. You gotta, from a tourism standpoint, the goal is to put a bed in a head, have them stay overnight, and support the businesses that are here, and make it attractive for another business to open up. Something like this, could that not only also help Edgewater, the cottages, but is there an investor that says, oh, maybe it's time for me to look at putting a motel
Yes.
in Taylorsville or something?
Actually, in Barren River, there is another nonprofit that has cabins, accessible cabins and stuff that they have set up. But I don't believe they have the playground, because it's at Barren River down,
Just to give you an idea about the campground, I live on Doolan Lake, and we did what we call pocket playgrounds there, and they're just small pocket playgrounds. They're smaller than what you guys have at soccer park and that, and they said it's unreal how much they're used, especially like if it rained one day, the kids are bored, they have nothing to do, both parents scream, they pack up and they leave and they go home. There's nothing for them to do otherwise. So we put in all these pocket, and the Corps of Engineers, who I work pretty close with there, said, they're used constantly. People now, if kids get on your nerves and nothing to do, then you're going to, be issues. So these playgrounds is where they go on an off day even, or if they're too tired, or they got sunburned one day, they need something to do. Rather than pack up and go home, they will go to these playgrounds and play. So it has shown that it has retained people. They keep putting more in, so they wouldn't keep putting more in. Almost every campsite area now has them. They've got pocket ones in different places. At all the marinas have them now. And that was their reasoning because of, kids get tired and cranky and they go there and play on the playground. That's why a perfect example why McDonald's has them. Let's all face it, when our kids were, we all hate McDonald's. As far as an adult for dinner, okay? But you went there because your child or grandchild wanted to go there to play. So that's the whole reason why Chick-fil-A and McDonald's put them in, is to draw people in. This does the exact same thing. They're all over the websites.
Anybody have any questions? Because it's getting late, and we've got some more things to take care of. If not,
This is Smothers Park, just real quick, for those of you who haven't seen it in Owensboro. Just to let you know, it's right on the Ohio River in downtown
what was the
Owensboro.
cost of that? That was the most expensive, you said?
Yes, 3.4.
3.4 million?
Yeah. Well, those trees were 1.5 million, they were hand-carved concrete trees, but they had people come from all over the United States just to go to this playground for no other reason. They had a lot of special needs schools from different states and counties bring their children here to play as a destination playground for them, so.
Okay, Tracy, thank you for making that phone call.
No,
I appreciate it.
thank you guys for giving us enough time to explain everything and meeting you finally. And again, I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, hopefully we've not seen the last of each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
we plan to succeed.
Yeah.
Do you have a flash drive with that I could get?
Thank you.
Yeah, Tracy, if you could send us links something that's easily emailed out to these.
Do you have a flash drive?
She has it on hers.
I mean, could you give me one?
Can I do that? Transfer it over so she can have
Oh,
it?
okay.
And here's our.
Okay, we're gonna move on then, unless anybody has any questions or comments, concerns. If not, we're gonna move on. Next item. Thank you so much. Next item is the county clerk's 2020 audit. That is in your packets. I had I don't know if anybody really studied that audit. One of the things that I look at are the comments and issues, of which there was only one in this particular audit, but I really have some issues with the comment. Essentially says the county clerk's office lacks segregation of duties over review and approval of required regulatory payments and reconciliations. And then it goes on to talk about, some taxing districts that were not paid timely and so forth. And the clerk's response, we always have an opportunity to respond to those types of comments.
Page 93, I think is what you're referring to, is that correct?
Page 92 in the packet, page 17 of the report, says the county clerk indicated that the office did not have enough funds to hire additional personnel to segregate duties. Now, you're talking about, we set the salary cap for the county clerk's office. For 2020, they were $103,000.
Just hold this over to the next meeting when she sees it.
Well, I'm just pointing it out, so I don't know what she could be talking about that she didn't have the funds.
We don't need to vote on this, do we?
No, it's not vote, I'm just pointing it out. I didn't know if y'all saw it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna move on then. The next item is emergency road aid request, that is for Shears Creek Road. We've requested to use emergency road aid for that project. It was estimated, I don't know that I can, it does say total project estimate is $176,000, of which the rural secondary will only allow us $100,000 of emergency road aid on that. So we need to go ahead. I know Todd is working on a plan B because it would require us to come up with the additional $76,000 over the.
Would that qualify as a FEMA?
No, we did not.
I mean, I asked Todd about that, and he said it qualified because there wasn't a FEMA, like an emergency event or something like that.
The way FEMA comes into play is if we have an event and I declare an emergency.
So there was no emergency?
There was no emergency declaration.
Question answered.
And you have to meet a certain threshold, and then the state has to meet a certain threshold, and then we qualify if the state qualifies. So,
I did speak with Todd about it pretty extensively, and he felt like that the 176 will be at the
Cadillac.
sort of extreme high, but we'll have the 100,000 to work with, and probably won't get real far into the 76.
Use name time.
Right.
So it'll be bid out.
Oh, yeah.
And then possibly they'll do part of it, part of it, I'm sure they don't have the equipment to do, except just driving those big things down into the earth to, stabilize and stuff, but some of it they will be able to do. I'm sure the cost is going to come in probably below this number.
If the court takes any action today, I would hope there would be a motion to allow the county judge to go ahead and put this out for bid as needed.
So the question is, this has already been, the 100,000 has been approved by the state, the way I understand it.
Well, we would have to put the application in.
That's for the application.
Right. Okay, second.
Motion by Davidson. I think that was.
I'm sorry, who made the motion in the second?
That's actually, that's okay to do that, but it's Mike's district of it.
I got the second.
Okay.
But he got their second, so. Generally, That's no problem, okay. So we've got a motion and a second, by Squire Moody. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Did you have a question?
I just sort of wanted to know what the motion was.
The motion was to allow us to go ahead and put this out for bid.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we can get that.
Aye.
That road, by the way, has been closed for some time.
Yes, I understand.
And it is creating some problems for some folks, particularly some of the farmers. Okay, anything else on that? If not, we'll move on. Annex painting, we've got a quote. I actually intended to bring this to you at the last meeting, and that's one of those last minute things, and I would like to do that.
This is all reimbursed by AOC.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve $2,400 for some painting at the annex to be reimbursed by AOC. Second, got a motion by Squire Mike Moody. And there was a foot race to second that. It was Squire Brewer. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We'll get that working. Occupational tax lockbox agreement. I may need some help on, oh, there you are. Great, glad you're here.
Right? Right? All right. At my conference in early September, I spoke with the vendor Limestone Bank. I was very interested to hear what they had to say. I brought them in. Doug, Brittany, and I met with them last week. And right now, Doug goes to the mailbox, gets our mail. They sort it, they open it, they make copies of checks, they put those checks, the copies of checks back in the envelopes, take them back in the mailbox. I get them, and I bring them over to my office, I sort them, I enter them in my tax system. What Limestone Bank is offering right now is that for the only thing that changes for our payroll customers is that they will mail their payment in their form to a different PO box. That's it. A representative of Limestone Bank will pick the mail from the PO box. They take it to their data processing center. They open the check. They open the envelope. They go ahead and scan in copies of the checks and the forms that come with them. They have the OCR information to make sure that the information they're scanning is correct. Then they upload that information into a batch file. I have spoken with Fiscal Tax, and we can import that batch file into my Fiscal Tax system. There's a format. I've got the format from Fiscal Tax. It seems pretty straightforward. So the advantage to Fiscal Court, or actually to our offices, is that during peak mail times, and I'm talking all of April, the first couple weeks of May, October's going to be pretty busy, probably the first week of November. Then we also have July and January. There can be times where there are 4 of us opening mail, making copies of checks, getting things sorted, getting things separated, because Doug needs to know the payroll check, a net profit check, a 1099 check, a business license check, because he has a couple of different operating accounts for those checks. So at peak times, you were spending $80 an hour for Brittany. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. I know this is like the first day. But she'll be in, Lindsay, she'll be with us, Doug and I, to open mail, make copies of checks. Then Doug goes back to his office. He creates a deposit ticket. He's putting this in an Excel spreadsheet. He's entering all this information. He's going to the bank. Lindsay will be creating her Excel spreadsheet of all the checks that we took in. I go up to my office. I create an Excel spreadsheet of all the checks that come in. We do this specifically for auditing purposes because auditors want to see that we in fact collected $100,000 worth of checks May 23rd. So there's a duplication of effort across the board for all 3 of us to do that. If we turn this over to Limestone Bank, they deposit, I did miss this step, I apologize. They deposit those checks into a Limestone Bank account. They said that that information is typically ready by 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can upload the information. Doug can go to Limestone Bank and move that money out of Limestone Bank into either Peoples or Cub Bank, whichever bank needs the funding that day, because I know we split our accounts between Peoples and Cub. So on that, Doug's making one line item entry. I'm only making one line item entry. Lindsay would only make one line item entry. This also makes reconciliation much easier. I crunched the numbers, and based on strictly 2021 receipts, because there is a cost difference between a form with a payment and just a blank form. The cost estimate to date would just be $1,945. I use my average of my returns to calculate for an entire year based on 2021 is $2,594. Gentlemen, that is only 0.35% of what I collect in a year. That's 30 cents of every $100. To not speak out of turn, I did verify with both Brittany and Doug that this statement is correct. My office collects the most revenue of any office in this county, period. Not only do I collect the most revenue, I have the lowest operating expenses as well. It's going to nullify the duplication of effort. That's not creating a deposit ticket with, oh my gosh, ADP alone is probably 120 checks. We're reducing our time to reconcile. I'm not opening them the second time when I get back to my office because they do, for confidentiality, they stuff it all back in, they load it nicely. I go to my office and I pick it back up. The other big bonus is I'm not spending my time scanning forms anymore. I'm not scanning them, I'm not storing them for the year. We're not paying shreddage to shred them. This is all completely done with Limestone Bank. We have verified that that information will be available online once we're all dead and gone and you're dusting around. I asked very specifically. Limestone Bank is willing to sign whatever confidentiality agreements we need. And really it is a huge time saver for a fraction of the cost of what you actually pay for people to do. I ran through it, so I'm really tired of your law.
That $25.94 is monthly,
No, sir, that's for the entire year.
for the entire year.
The actual fee is $175 a month. That is a flat fee every single month. For each payment and form, it's 12.5 cents. Then if we get just a zero return, it's 27.5 cents. And I did take the time to go back and look over these last 9 months to see how many returns came in with a payment and how many returns came in with a zero. And that is on the front. I think Brittany did highlight on the estimated cost. It's just right about that.
What's a zero return?
You had zero payroll. So you have to report to me on the
it's
zero
just,
return. It's literally a crusade return. They take the time to mail it to me to report.
So where's the cost savings coming from?
The cost savings is that you're eliminating 4 of us opening mail during peak times. It's coming from, I'm not physically standing there scanning these checks in every single day that I get them. I still have net profit coming in. I audit those returns as they come across my desk. We still have business license applications come in. That is something I will always have to process because you have to have a vendor account number